Welcome to The Weekly Trend, a podcast for navigating the markets through the lens of technical analysis. The Weekly Trend podcast is provided for educational purposes only and does not constitute any professional advice. Listeners should not act upon the information or content without first seeking advice from a registered financial planner.
Welcome back to the Weekly Trend Podcast. Today is March 20th, 2026. S&P sitting at 65.49. Today I'm joined by Kevin Ferrari. Where would you like to get started today, Kevin?
Well, probably the elephant in the room. S&P cash now below a 200-day this week. Futures, I think, were last week. End of the week, now cash following suit, which is unfortunate, especially for us with Wisconsin getting bounced round one. I mean, this is kind of a double whammy.
It's a tough day for Wisconsinites.
It is.
At least trend following Wisconsinites. Maybe
right.
if you're like a CFA, you don't care.
Yeah, probably not.
We care a lot. We care a lot about 200 days. I think it's a pretty solid barometer of long-term trends. We are below the 200-day as of yesterday. Kind of tried to save at midday. Didn't end up closing below it. Also below 6,800, a level that has been discussed a lot. We talked about it in client letters. Very big horizontal level. I think there was an anchor VWAP kind of in there. It's a tough week for stocks all around the world, I guess, except for energy stocks.
Yeah.
For second week in the row, only positive sector in the market. I think still the only positive sector year to date. Pretty sure that's true. It was true last week, so I assume
year to date there's still a couple that are green. It's like industrials, materials, like utilities.
Okay, well, I stand corrected.
Yeah, this week definitely not pretty. Yeah, I mean, I guess financials essentially flat this week so far, but not sure if that's going to stick. It really doesn't matter with how they've been year to date. Kind of the worst performer on the year. Yeah, not great.
They're even hitting the staples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, staples hit really hard lately.
I guess you could see it bounce here. I mean, it's bad. That's a bad look, especially for a low beta area. I mean, I guess once you lost the 83, 84 level.
I mean, I guess there's kind of some hope around like $81 on XLP. They could hold it here, which really isn't too far then from the 200-day. I mean, that would put you like, ballpark, you're about 1% away then at that point. We'll see.
Very unimpressive.
I mean, we talked about the S&P, below 200-day. Qs now.
Yeah.
Below 200-day, losing, like 590, which I guess, like 580-ish, somewhere in there. You can maybe find some buyers step in, but below that, it's not really a pretty picture.
That's a pretty clean break. I mean, consolidated for 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Broke down right below the 200-day. Like I said earlier, kind of tried to bounce yesterday back up into the 200-day. That didn't work. So,
and which was kind of interesting, the last couple of weeks, talking about like breadth deterioration. But I mean, really the Qs, I guess relatively speaking, breadth-wise, really wasn't too bad for the most part. Last couple of weeks, I mean, they were kind of holding steady there for a little bit, but I mean, now it looks like they're just going to take it. So, doesn't look like that really was foreshadowing anything positive, at least as of now. But I guess, Dow too below 200 day.
Mm.
Now kind of losing
Yeah,
45,
Dow
750. That's,
does not look maybe the worst out of all of them.
yeah, I think you could make that argument for sure. I mean, Russell, hanging in there, I guess, at least in regards to the 200 day. I mean, we're close though. I mean, we're looking
Yeah, I mean, it would have to do it here.
mm,
We had to bounce here and now.
like not quite 2% away. A little shy of that, like a quarter of a percent shy from there. We'll see.
All we
So, I
can do is
mean,
pray now.
that's
Pray for mercy.
about it.
What
Like,
about fixed income? Fixed income is also spooky, I assume.
yeah, it's gross. TLT below a
Yeah.
200 day, getting hit really hard today. As of right now, down 8% ish, somewhere in there. Just keeps getting worse.
Yes, you've got long-term treasuries back to their lowest since September. So we're talking about base 6 months. So clearly, at least bond traders not buying the lower rates story.
No, rates going up.
I mean, you've got a 30-year U.S. Treasury yield back up to almost 5%. It's crazy to think less than a month ago we were talking about 4.5%. So we're back up into the top end of the range we've been in. I mean, I guess you could say 5.1, 5.14, 5. We're not quite to the max we've seen over the last few years, 2 or 3 years. But market absolutely not believing that. I don't know if it's an inflation. I don't know what the thesis is. I guess maybe they just don't believe in inflation going back down. But
Yeah,
interest
wouldn't you?
rates,
Wouldn't you think tips on to be holding up a little bit better in the air? I mean, they're getting hit really hard too. I mean, maybe
maybe
not.
it's a liquidity thing that people just want out.
Could be. I just want the cash. I mean, even like a lot of your ultra short bond funds, like are even. I mean, it's not like they're necessarily selling off, but they're definitely kind of slowing down. Or really, it's like I don't know, really the only place it feels comfortable to be. I feel like in the fixed income space is just like T-bills, like just which at that point then, right? Are people just saying I'd rather just be in cash and not even worry about it?
Yeah, that few things safer than government-backed 1 month debt, 3 month debt.
Which I guess I would almost consider, right? T-bills kind of almost like a cash equivalent, somewhat,
I think it is. At least it's cash that pays you.
right? So I mean, yeah,
If this market's not closer, ADPV is going to be in T-bills. That would probably be a great time. Look at that segue, Kevin.
good job, well done.
I know. I should do this for a living. It'd be a great time to promote the sponsor of this podcast, Adaptive Select ETF, listed on the NYSE under ticker ADPV, helps investors access two of the most prevalent factors in markets: momentum and relative strength. Through proprietary identification methods, the Adaptive Select ETF attempts to own the strongest 25 large cap stocks when the market is in an uptrend. And since not all market environments are the same, Adaptive Select seeks to prevent extended declines by moving to short-term treasury bills, ding, 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 and cash during long-term market downtrends. Investors can find out more, including how to invest in ADPV, by visiting adpvetf.com or calling 1-833-880-5200. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Distributed by Quasar Distributors. Two things. I finally said proprietary right.
That's a tough one.
I think I just messed it up. Maybe I messed it up there. I don't know. I got it right in the moment, though. I think we need to save that clip. Save that clip of me doing the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So in future episodes, we can just play that. We'll just sub that in.
Yeah.
Two, I don't think anyone's ever called that number. Not that I'm complaining. You don't need to call it.
Yeah,
But
the
I think
internet's a great thing.
I think legally we have to give you a phone number to call.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember something about that.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
Well, do you? Because I mean, now that we're below a 200 day, do you want to kind of talk more how that works? Like, what does it take to get? Like, what does it take to flip?
Yeah, so we would need 5-day moving average below the 200-day, which, today, you don't have to have 5 days. I like to think of it as about, you need the index itself to be under the 200-day for about 5 days. That's not always how it happens based on percentages. I mean, if you had one super terrible candle, sure. I mean, right, it's just, you just got to pull the average over the last 5 days down enough.
Mm-hmm.
So not going to get there this week unless we have a terrible afternoon.
That would have to be pretty wild, eh?
Have to be bad. I mean, we probably need like a 4% down day. So we looks like ADP will holding stocks at least for another week, and then we are in cash. Client models though can go to cash.
Mm-hmm.
Parts that don't hold the ETF, but yeah, the ETF, it acts on its own. I'm sure if this continues by next Wednesday, I will be squirming. I'm just saying, oh my gosh, get me in T-bills. But such is life.
Dang, man, we lose 6,500. I mean, realistically, you're talking like 6150, 62, right?
I was
Somewhere in
gonna
there.
say, yeah, I think if we break this, and so what stinks is I mean, golly, it'd be so logical to bounce here. You could bounce. Well, I mean, we were talking about this yesterday in market call. You
Mm-hmm.
could bounce all the way back to 6,700, 6,750, whatever these highs from like last Tuesday. I guess it would be this Tuesday. Get back above a 200-day. Downtrends are such a pain in the butt. But yeah, I'm with you. Below 6,500, you don't really have much. You don't really
Fair.
much in the way until like 6,100.
No, I mean, like from the highs, if we come all the way back down to like 61, like the highs from like end of 24, beginning of 25, it's basically 12%, which I guess is not extremely unreasonable to see
Well,
that.
and then, right, okay, so then let's say we get there, which I mean, I think you could get there I think you could be there by the end of April.
Mm-hmm.
So then is your 200-day rolling over? It's definitely flattening out, right? So then you're going
Mm-hmm.
to start having that tail. Now, I guess, all right, so for tariff tantrum, we never really, the 200-day never really,
No,
I
I mean,
mean, it kind of flattened out.
at the lows, basically, kind of just getting into the
Yeah,
lows.
at the lows, it kind of, I mean, technically, yes, it did have a high, and then it rolled over like a very easy bit and then went flat. So yeah, you got to get it done quickly. If we're going to do it, we got to do a little tariff tantrum, get it done quickly so it doesn't mess up our upward sloping 200-day.
They rip the Band-Aid off.
We got to do this optically. Maybe that's what do you think they talk about that in the White House?
How do we want the chart to look?
For optics, we can't have a downward sloping 200-day or else the CMTs will get in a tizzy.
I mean, if I had to put money on
CFAs
it, I'm guessing they don't. No.
CFAs are super happy about Micron earnings.
I just don't get earnings in general. I just don't get it.
You don't have. That's the beauty of TA. We don't
Have to get it. No.
We don't have to get it. So we've had. This is going back to Palantir, but you said you've had Palantir, Nvidia, and now Micron. I'm sure there's been others, but those are definitely the three that come to mind. Everyone sits on the edge of their seat after the closing bell, and then these three. I mean, I would say very. Nvidia is pretty important as far as weightings. I'd say all three are important as far as sentiment. But you have all three of them, great earnings, blowout earnings, and then they pound the stock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really, well, maybe not Nvidia so much, but like Micron leading into earnings like Tuesday, the day before. I mean, that's just a great look. All-time highs, up above 445.
I agree, beautiful.
Just, even day of earnings Wednesday, kind of held that essentially flat for the day.
And then we've got a failed breakout.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
I guess this could just be a little dip below 40. What is this, 44 or 445, 448, somewhere in there. I don't know. We'll see. Unfortunate look.
Semiconductors, relatively speaking, are holding up all right. Like SMH to SPX, kind of just chopping around here a little bit. It's not like it's getting relatively hammered. Even just XLK, the relative chart back up above a relative 200 day. Now it's
Speaking
pretty
of
close. Whether or not that's going to stick, I guess I don't know. But
speaking of semiconductors, this is the first story I saw this morning on the interwebs. Did you read about that guy that got caught smuggling NVIDIA chips in to
no,
China? Yeah, he got caught smuggling in NVIDIA chips, and they were like taking the serial numbers. They had a massive operation, like I think $2 billion worth of NVIDIA chips, and they were like taking off the serial numbers with hair dryers. And then they had this like whole fake operation set up to like fool all like the US and Chinese inspectors. It's crazy. You should go find it. He's getting like yeah, I don't know how a Chinese judicial system works, but
like Russia, they just disappear.
yeah, I think that's exactly how it works. Did we ever find Jack Ma? Did he ever come back?
That's a good question. I don't know.
His clone came back.
Could be. Makes you wonder.
All right, so fixed income stinks. Stocks stink, both foreign and domestic. Crypto stinks. Yeah, you kind of had the failed move on Bitcoin. Tried to get above 72.
Yeah, I really couldn't do it. I mean,
Got up to 76.
I did it for like a day or two. Now I'm kind of looking like it might want to roll back over. I mean, even, Ethereum, kind of the same deal. So yeah, not really good in crypto land.
They never bounced soft. I mean, well, I don't know. We'll see. TV is still interesting to me. We'll see. That's tough, though. That's tough. What about the dollar?
Fighting.
Is that what's screwing it over? Strong dollar?
Yeah, they keep
Kinda
trying
seems
to.
like it.
They keep trying to get back up above like 100
Oh my
for
gosh!
DXY,
If we get
or
back in this
$100.50
range,
on it.
if we get back in this range from 100 to 107,
Mm-hmm.
I might just ask Dave to take off the rest of the spring.
But end of next week might be in cash. And it might be a little easier.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're going to be twiddling our thumbs for the foreseeable months, I can go twiddle them somewhere with real nice weather.
Hit up a bar, watch some March Madness.
Do you have any bars close to you guys?
Yeah, there's a couple.
I mean, that's Wisconsin, so I guess that was kind of a stupid question, but
You really don't even have to.
it's good. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite local bar, or not enough time yet because of the little ones?
Yeah, I don't really get out too much with the kids now anymore. But no, there's
They'll be learning the bar dice here probably in a few years, though.
maybe a good. So our youngest turns 1 this weekend. Maybe that's what we can get for his birthday.
Ooh, one. And you said it is themed, right?
Yeah, I don't even know what the theme is. I probably should. It's all right though.
Awesome.
My wife doesn't listen anyway, so
Tractors, farm. It could be farm themed. That'd be fitting.
could be. I mean, that's probably close to what it is. Exciting stuff.
Does he want anything? Like, is he in anything yet?
No,
No.
just trying to get him to crawl around consistently. He's a little bit more lazy on the movement than his brother was. He was moving around his brother like crazy. Our youngest, not so much yet.
So you have a lot of people coming to town?
Oh yeah, which with the
yeah.
nice blizzard we had earlier this week, that'll be
Yeah, you guys did get quite a bit of the snow.
a nice solid 16 inches.
Oh my gosh. 16 inches?
Something like that.
Does your wife has to go to work?
I mean, I think it took us around 4 hours, maybe a little bit more to get the driveway opened up Monday afternoon.
gosh.
It was fun. And then now it's really warm, so everything's just a sloppy mess.
Yeah. Just like the market.
I
What a
know.
great metaphor to end on.
It is great. It's all coming together very nicely.
Well, not a pretty picture. We are below a 200 day, so that needs to get fixed ASAP, or we start talking about being in cash and going ahead and planning our summer activities. But yeah, rough across the board. As Kevin said, rough in fixed income as well, which that's been the case for a while. So I guess no surprise that it has spilled over into equities. And you know what? Unfortunately, I would say that I don't what's the best way to put this? I don't think that, given this, that we're coming from this a 5-week consolidation and breaking down, this isn't like a bottom behavior. This isn't like, I mean, I guess we could get a failed breakdown here, but if we don't, I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, like we've cratered so quickly, so much so quickly. Like that's not the case here, like it was last March and April.
Yeah, with like energy, with what energy and like oil are doing, this kind of gives like off more of like 2022 vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like everything else kind of sells off. Energy does fine, for a little while, and then
See, and then we'll know when they start selling energy that we're officially. Well, then I mean, they didn't stop selling energy.
I mean, really, it was
June until June in 2022. Yeah, how about that? Anything you'd like to leave our listeners with, Kevin?
I mean, international still. I mean, emerging markets kind of fight for its life here a little bit.
Yeah, that's one that's got to do it here. The 08 highs, got to do it. Strong dollar also not helping the EM chart.
Yeah, EFA doesn't look good. IEV below 200-day now today so far.
Europe's below 200-day. And
China continues to look worse. I saw Baba got hit pretty hard on earnings.
Yeah, Baba. So
China,
which already looked like crap.
This is the one interesting thing in like the fixed income space. Like Chinese bonds are doing just fine. I mean,
you did bring that up yesterday. That was a good chart.
CBON is what we use the ETF for that. I mean, that was and
then today,
heck of a candle yesterday.
I mean,
so that one is interesting.
Man. Yeah, I mean, you look at that Chinese bonds versus S&P. That's a healthy chart. Why do we want to buy Chinese bonds? I don't know. Maybe they're the new U.S. treasuries.
Wouldn't that be wild?
You can trust the Chinese sovereign debt just as good. All righty. Well, that's that.
We just hope we can hold 65.50. It's fine. We're ripping next week. Nothing happened.
Man, that'd be powerful too. Failed breakdown.
It would.
With the horizontal level and a 200-day, I definitely think it's something to keep in the back of your mind. But if we don't get that, and fairly soon, could be 6 more weeks of winter. We need a Punxsutawney Phil for the market.
It's pretty much the Fed, ain't it? That's what it feels like.
Jerome Powell.
Whether or not he sees your shadow at the podium.
Yeah, bring it out of his cage.
Oh, man.
Someone will make an AI video of that.
No, it's probably already out there. It has to be. By the time you think of it, somebody's already thought of it probably 6 months ago. If not longer, I feel like.
Funnier people than us. All righty. Well, have a great weekend, everyone. And hopefully we will have better news in 7 days.
Fingers crossed.
Have a great week, everyone.